Hi everyone, my name is Yashni Priya Serju, and in today's video I'll be showing you how I drew this peacock using colored pencils. Now the pencils I've used for this are the Derwent Lightfast pencils. Now these pencils have been available for a while, but I've only been able to purchase the 72 set recently, and all the art stores that I usually go to only had the 36 set, and I wanted the 72 set. So I managed to purchase that now from an online art store. And I must say this pencil is one of my favorites, the other being the Faber-Castell Polychromos. Now the paper I'm using for this drawing is the Prime Art Watercolor Hot Press paper. The reason why I chose this paper, it is smoother. It has a smooth surface, not too much of tooth. It allows me to do fine details, and also it's thick enough to handle multiple layers of the pencil. And also I'm able to use my Odourless mineral spirits when I'm blending my color pencil. So usually I start off my drawings or my videos with the final drawing already done with the pencil, or my final pencil drawing already done. And I want to just show you in this video what my process is. I'm using the grid method. For color pencil, I prefer using the grid method because I want an accurate drawing. I don't want to, because it's more difficult to change or correct things later on with color pencil compared to paint. So I usually use with paint. I do freehand drawing, but I try to use the grid method wherever possible. It saves me a lot of time as I can have the accurate drawing done much faster than if I was doing it freehand. You can use the grid method for paintings or for your color pencil drawings. It makes it easier. Or you can do it freehand as well. If you're happy with doing it freehand, then you can use the freehand. Don't have to use the grid method. But I just prefer the grid method to get a more accurate drawing so that when I put on the color pencil, I know everything is placed in the correct spot. And like, for example, the eye is in the correct place, the beak is in the correct place. I don't have to have a problem when I'm putting in the color. So now you can see I started layering in the color of the eye. I usually start all my animal drawings or paintings with the eye. And I must say this pencil went on very smoothly. It blended very well with the Odourless Mineral Spirit, as well as it also layered very well with different colors. I could also layer in different colors to create other colors. Although the 72 set has got a vast amount of colors, but if you do want to mix any other colors or just the colors, you can do so with this pencil that is applying on the paper. Okay, so now you can see I'm just working on section by section. Usually when I do any color pencil drawing or even a painting, I prefer to work section by section, especially for color pencil, so that you don't get overwhelmed and you can work on a small area at a time. So I wanted to just give my opinion on this particular Derwent Lightfast pencils, and I must say that I'm very impressed with them. I was very excited when I purchased them, and I was anticipating what they're going to be like when I use them onto my paper that I'm using. And this is the paper I use for most of my color pencil drawings, so actually all of my color pencil drawings lately. You can see how quickly the color goes onto the paper, and I don't need to put in too many layers. I do put a couple of layers, but not too many layers before I use the mineral spirits to blend. You can see how easily that blends in once I use the mineral spirits over. Then obviously I let that area dry and I go back to another area. I work on that, and once again I use these spirits. When I use that, I just move on to another area while I let that dry. So you can see I'm just going over the side feathers of the face. Now once again I'm paying quite close um, attention to my reference photo as I'm drawing the peacock and getting in the feathers, in the direction of the feathers, the shadows, the highlights. You don't need to have every single feather in place, but at least to get the general idea, or more or less, it should be fine. So you can see I'm just blending in and working section by section. And I'm working around the face and the eyes, and I'm going to the beak. I do jump around a little bit, and I move from the beak to the eye to the face, all over the place, and that's just because I'm waiting for the Odourless mineral spirits to dry, or a particular area I want to get that completed before I go on. You can see I'm putting many layers on there. It's not just a single layer or two layers, it's a couple of layers, different colors, making sure I get those darks dark, get the shadows in really dark, and then get the highlights as well in. I put in a white pencil where the highlights are, just so that I can keep those areas or preserve those areas with the white. Now, because I got my graphite drawing underneath, I don't want to have the graphite being spread all over the place. So as I work on the area, I just lighten the area with an eraser and just keep some of the details so I can follow with the color pencil, and then I go over with color pencil. But I try to remove excess of the graphite pencil just so that it doesn't create a gray look over the color pencil when I'm going to start blending in. I think I'm still defining some of the shadows and the detail of the beak. And now I'm going into the feathers on his head. Now this is going to take a couple of layers. As you can see, if you've seen the finished peacock and this compared to this one, you can see that there's a lot that still needs to be done. The color has to become much more saturated than it is at the moment. You can see I'm working section by section, getting in those little details. Then I go back through with the color and I start putting in the color in, still maintaining that feathers, the direction of the feathers. And also remember, I'm also putting in a lot of the shadow areas because the feathers are overlapping one another, so there's going to be a lot of shadow areas between the feathers. And I must say, these pencils have blended so well. They blend with each other so well, they blend with the spirits well. And you don't need too many layers to get the effect you're looking for. And I like to draw and paint more realistically, so for my style, it's very suitable for my style. You can also use it for looser drawings if you'd like, but for my particular style, it's more realistic, so these work perfectly. And although you do put a couple of layers on, a few layers is enough. You don't need to overdo it, just a few layers, and the color is very, very rich and saturated. And then obviously you do go over it with more details, so you will have a couple of layers in there, but when you initially use the Odourless mineral spirits, you just need a few layers, and then you can blend, and then you can wait for it to dry and then put in the detail. So you can see I'm just going in now on the neck area and the area under his beak, and I'm also now defining some of those shadow areas and the darker areas. And remember, as I'm doing this, I'm paying close attention to my reference photo. Everything is not exact, every feather is not accounted for, but I am putting more or less what I see on the reference photo. I'm trying to put it in there. In some areas, I'm not using the Odourless mineral spirits. I'm just using the pencil only and getting some of those finer, detailed lines in, or marks in where I need certain feathers to be defined. That's just to bring out some of that shadows and that highlights and certain feathers that are more defined. And I think we're about done. Well, my opinion of these pencils is that you can give them a try. They are one of my favorite pencils, the other being the Faber-Castell Polychromos. There's still many brands I haven't tried yet, but these are my two favorites currently. The lighter polycolors are also not so bad, but the Derwent Lightfast, I'm very impressed with them and I'm very happy with them. You can give them a try. If your budget allows, get the 72 set. If not, you can get the smaller set and work from there and slowly build your set up. But I feel this is a very good pencil for artist, um, any artist that's doing color pencil work. This is a must have. Definitely it'll be on a must have list. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and I hope it's been helpful. If it has been helpful and if you have enjoyed it, don't forget to like and share. And if you have any comments, comment below and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.